Hey all, here OS Reviews. You're watching our video unboxing and first impressions look at the Amazfit GTS 2. Just a few days ago, in fact, we took a look at the Amazfit BIP-U, which is their super affordable smartwatch. I liked it quite a bit, and so now we're looking at the more flagship alternative in their collection. This one here selling for around $170. For the extra money, you're getting a AMOLED display instead of the IPS LCD found on the BIP-U, as well as a microphone and speaker built on in, which allows you to make phone calls and also access Amazon's smart Alexa assistant directly on the watch itself. The watch also has built-in NFC, so you can use it for mobile payment, as well as a slightly larger 1.65-inch display with smaller bezels and a more premium construction quality in general, constructed out of aluminum for the frame instead of polycarbonate plastic on the BIP, carved glass, and just a more luxurious looking experience. It comes in a few different colors, and it also has built-in GPS, by the way, which is a function that the default BIP-U is actually lacking. So if you want to track your route when running outdoors, this one will get you covered in that department. Still has lots of customization running on the same smartwatch OS that is powering the BIP-U that we saw from before, so the interface should be pretty familiar, albeit with a slightly faster processor, and we also get the same things like optical heart rate tracking, blood oxygen monitoring or SpO2, sleep tracking, which is intelligent. Even if you're taking naps, it will track that for you. And it also has built-in memory, just like on the Amazfit Pace that we saw about a year or two ago. This one here has 3 gigabytes built on in, so you can even use it as a dedicated MP3 player. You can connect it to your computer and save a few songs on it, and when you're on the go, you're able to just pair the watch to wireless Bluetooth headphones and listen to music that's saved on the watch's memory directly. And then 5 ATM waterproofing, as well as a 7-day battery life. Now, if you're familiar with Amazfit, in their current generation of wearables, they have another product called the GTR2, which actually sells for exactly the same price as the GTS2 that we're looking at here. And in fact, they have identical features and all the same sports and sensors that you have on board. The only difference is the S stands for square, and we have a square display on this watch compared to the R, which stands for round, and we have the circular display on that model. So just depending on your preferences, if you like something that has a square aesthetic versus a circle, you can pick either the GTR or the GTS. Here's the packaging, pretty clean, and other standard features on here include a compass, barometer for air pressure is even built on in, so quite a lot that you can do with it using Bluetooth 5.0. Anyways, aside from the plastic, there isn't any sticker, it looks like. We can just slide the compartment here out of the box. Another small box that says Amazfit, and inside here we have just the GTS2 right on top. There is kind of a protective film on top of the display, so it's not technically turned on. You kind of have to peel this off to reveal the screen underneath. And then lifting it up, we have some directions printed on the side of the box that tells us the different compartments that we have here. So we have access to the user manual that you can pull up. It's actually pretty thick and well documented. Then on the other side is where we have the charging adapter. It's using a magnetic system. It's very reminiscent of the same charging style that we saw in the BIP-U. In fact, I believe it's almost exactly the same. It sticks onto the back of the watch using magnets and these 2 contacts. And first impressions, it definitely has a larger display as well as a more premium heft to it compared to the Amazfit BIP-U. It's by no means heavy compared to other large smartwatches like, say, Mobvoi's TicWatch that we checked out a while back, which is still significantly thicker, as you can see there. However, it definitely has better construction made out of this Gorilla Glass, as well as the aluminum alloy accents. That serves as a contrast with the BIP-U's more obvious plastic, and including the frame. So this one here is definitely lighter if you're putting it side by side with each other. Also a larger bezel on the BIP-U versus smaller one on the GTS2. We do have a crown key on the GTS2 as well. And pressing it inwards, the watch kind of pops onto life. There's haptic vibration as well, so it kind of slightly vibrates to give you confirmation. We can select our language, and first impressions is the touchscreen is very responsive and fluid, as expected. And then we can download the companion app, which is called Zep. By the way, the watch also has an ambient light sensor, so it can automatically adjust the brightness of the screen depending on your surroundings. Finally, because it is an AMOLED display, it does also have a always-on display mode. I know that's a feature that some of you guys were expecting and wanted to see on the BIP-U. Well, it's good to see it here. And with a darkened background, AMOLED will drain power pretty slowly, so it's great to have that option here. Put the watch here onto the phone's view, and afterwards it will try and pair it as long as we're in close enough proximity and have location services turn on with our smartphone. It's connected, and we can tap on confirm. Again, haptic vibration feels pretty good on the watch to give you notifications. There's a quick tutorial here that tells you how to quickly use it. And it can only activate one watch at a time if you're paired to an account, so it will deactivate other watches that you may have from Amazfit or Xiaomi in the past before activating this one. And there is a software update for the watch that will begin to download here. Usually it does after you take it out of the box. While our watch here is restarting after the firmware update, the UI here of the app is pretty straightforward. It's really the only thing that's different is we go into the Enjoy tab, we have a few more special features that weren't active on the BIP U. For example, there's even offline audio command words that you can learn. So this is meaning if you're not connected to your phone, if you're not connected to the internet, you can still do things without tapping on the screen using the microphone on the watch, which is pretty neat. Like open up a certain app, brighten up the screen, volume adjustments, these things can all be controlled by your voice, and that's not using the Amazon Assistant either. So kind of neat that they give you these functions that are baked into the software, even finding different widgets. We can of course change the watch face as well, so we can tap on here, it will take us to the store and give us all of these different customization options. There's plenty of patterns to pick from. That's always been a highlight of Amazfit watches, is because of the large community following, you're bound to find something that's attractive or even customize your own watch face with your own photo. Now let's just take a quick look at the watch. It tells us that we've successfully updated the system and added some features here which we can take a look at later. We're just greeted now to this main watch face, which does look pretty attractive and clean, and then the general fluidity of the UI does feel very smooth. In fact, a touch smoother than the BIP U, which is expected since this is a more expensive wearable at the end of the day. The screen here is definitely larger, a bit more sensitive, and just really easy to just tap along and take a closer look at. Also shows our weather pattern. The type of information, though, is quite similar to what we saw before, and you can also control the music source playing through different headsets or on the watch's speaker, as well as other things like the alarm clock that you can set up. There's a new shortcuts screen that takes a quick look at your multiple widgets at a glance before coming back to our main watch face. We can swipe up to take a look at notifications, swipe down for quick commands. Things like a flashlight will just turn the entire display white so that you can illuminate subjects in the dark, and this is a feature that's actually missing on the BIP U, so it's great to see it here. And the contrast of the display is of course excellent because of the AMOLED nature. The blacks are super inky and dark. Other things here include Do Not Disturb mode and Eco mode, which deactivates certain features and extends your battery even more. If we long hold on the watch here, we could probably be able to change the watch face directly. We have a few ones which are built on in by default that you can try and select, and of course download more and push them over using the app. But here's just a quick selection of a few that are included in the watch's memory here by default. So the built-in memory is definitely larger than the BIP U, and as a result you're able to customize and store more watch faces directly on the watch itself without having to push ones out of the memory every time you want to change to a new one. So that is one advantage I'm seeing here, and giving you quite a few options just out of the box. And then tapping the crown key once will bring up the full list of different applications that you can look at in more detail, additional functions which are tucked away. Again, the responsiveness of the screen is very fast and fluid, just like an Apple Watch or Android Wear watches these days. Everything is flowing along really well. Swipe on the edge there to go back by one page. Other functions here, again, like the barometer, you can also find. By the way, the watch does also have built-in Wi-Fi, which I didn't mention previously. So just like the Amazfit Pace and Verge that we saw from before, this is a nice function. So even if you're disconnected from your smartphone, technically if you're connected to the internet at home, for example, it can still update and save the data onto the cloud, even though it doesn't have a cellular connectivity option like 4G, for example, at the moment. So that's more or less it as far as our quick hands-on look, unboxing, and first impressions of the GTS 2. Definitely a very premium feeling smartwatch and the top-of-the-line model from this company. We'll be sure to come out with a more complete review soon, so if you're interested, be sure to stay tuned. But for now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.